Grassley.
I want to thank Senator Cornyn and Senator Hawley for their leadership in coordinating this joint subcommittee hearing. Today's hearing follows an Afghan national's vile attack on two National Guardsmen, which killed Sarah Beckstrom, and Andrew Wolf was critically wounded. We're forever grateful for these Guardsmen's bravery and service to our country. In 2024, law enforcement arrested an Afghan national affiliated with ISIS who planned to conduct a terror attack on Election Day. And just days after Sarah Beckstrom and Andrew Wolf were attacked, law enforcement arrested another Afghan national in Texas who posted online threats to bomb and kill Americans. The last administration failed to enforce our immigration laws and to appropriately vet Afghans that they brought to the United States. President Biden and Vice President Harris, after their administration's botched withdrawal from Afghanistan, stood up a massive immigration parole program, Operation Allies Welcome. A staggering 70,000 plus Afghan parolees entered the United States through the program. Immigration parole's intent is careful consideration on an individual case-by-case basis. President Biden and Secretary Mayorkas, however, failed to enforce our immigration laws and granted parole en masse to a large swath of folks at the border and elsewhere, including Afghan evacuees, many of whom didn't even serve alongside U.S. forces in Afghanistan. The Biden-Harris administration invited other Afghans into the United States as a special part of special immigrant visa program. By 2022, some in Congress wanted to create a pathway for permanency for tens of thousands of Afghans, both those issued an SIV as well as those merely paroled into the United States. The scope of these efforts continues to go far beyond those who dutifully served alongside our troops and aided in their mission. Since 2021, I've warned the Biden administration, my congressional colleagues, and the American public about the failure to vet Afghan evacuees. For years, the Biden administration hid known vetting vulnerabilities from the people. The multiple inspector generals released reports detailing the Biden-Harris administration's stark vetting failures. Initially, the Biden administration failed to vet evacuees against all available Defense Department tactical data prior to being paroled. But even if all the databases were searched, there's arguably never be a full vetting. The Afghan government, national and local, isn't known to be the most organized and diligent with records and intelligence work product. If our government database don't possess all known security risks of individuals, running names against the database won't do much good. Last year, on September the 9th, DHS Secretary Noem told my office that as of August 12th, 2025, thousands of Operation Allies Welcome parolees were potential national security risks. Clearly, problems persist in our own backyard. More recently, on January 7th of this year, I wrote to the Department of Justice, FBI, Department of Homeland Security, State Department, CIA, and the Department of Defense. In that letter, I made public new records. Those records show that the Biden State Department had recommended a special immigration visa for Afghan nationals charged with shooting the two National Guardsmen. According to the Biden State Department, the terrorists pose no threat to national security, quote unquote. Last year, I also brought the U.S. CIS and the FBI personnel for bipartisan briefing as part of my oversight. The briefings further discussed the inherent failure in the vetting system of the previous administration. The American people deserve to know the information that the members heard during these hearings, and I've asked the FBI to declassify certain information. Still today, some proposals ask Congress to simply rubber stamp these abuses of parole. Instead of using more proper pathways like refugee admission program, the Biden-Harris administration took drastic shortcuts, and America is less safe as a result. Carving out exceptions, pushing poorly vetted parolees to the front of the line is not the answer. Addressing the executive branch's prior abuses of parole is. That's why I've reintroduced my Immigration Parole Reform Act this Congress. Similarly, recent proposals to expand the SIV program to do little to address the thousands already here who weren't adequately vetted. Thankfully, President Trump's swift work to protect the American people and vet those coming here or intending to remain is welcome course of correction. I look forward to this hearing on what happened, what went wrong, and how this administration can address this issue moving ahead. Again, I thank my two chairmen, subcommittee chairmen, for their work on this hearing.
Mr. Chairman.